Yeah, it's the mayor of Megaville, baby. Hey, you know who we gon' vote? We voting Donald Trump, baby. America needs safety. America needs safety. Voting Trump, baby. November 5th, we going crazy. November 5th, we going crazy. Red pill pop, swerving in the Trump truck. Republican 4G, and keep knows what's up. Everybody move, make a nation. Throw it up. Black, white, and brown. Oh, man, I'm sure rap party. They gon' take your freedom, indicting our president, cause they can't beat it. Two-tier justice system. Put America first, we look back. FJB. Let's go. We voted Donald Trump, baby. America needs safety. America needs safety. We voted Trump, baby. November 5th, we going crazy. November 5th, we going crazy. Now I pledge allegiance to vote for Trump. There's a red wave coming, you gon' surf for what? And God, I trust to take the devil away. Joe Biden, I can throw the key away. Your propaganda ain't gonna work on me. Biden and just like he working for free. I demand reparations from every idiot that voted for Joe Biden, boy, period. Period, TV Joe is a fraud. And the bloodbath in the Bumpy.
And we are back here on the Smart Money Culture TV network with the Impact Money Show. I have someone really special with me here today. This guy is working it all day, all night. Patriots United, patriotsunited.us. He brought us a lot of the, actually almost all, maybe all of the candidates that we interviewed over this leading up to the. I have with me here, he goes by Gator, Patriots United. So Gator, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got into this position where you're like the candidate wrangler.
Well, yeah, I go by Gator. On X, it's the real outlaw Gator. But the company is Patriots United. And we have an X page. You can reach it at Patriots Unite TM, and the TM is for trademark because we are an actual Section 527 nonprofit. It's trademarked. Patriots United is a trademarked name. And we're a political organization. And what we do is we look for grassroots candidates nationwide. We have a website, and I put the website right there below Patriots United, and you can go to it. And we have all kinds of information there. And we have a candidates page. And our webmaster, Sick of the Lies, you can look him up at on his X page there. But we have all our candidates listed, and our candidates are grassroots people. They're grassroots folks just like us, just like you and I. And we have a video conference with them when we vet them. And like I told you earlier, I'll sit right there with them and I'll tell them straightforward. I said, I hate politicians. That's why I got into doing this. Is I hate a politician. I don't care what side of the aisle he's on, or if he's in the middle. I don't care. I hate a politician. And I'll tell them that. And if they start acting like a politician, sounding like a politician, or speaking that politicianese, I'll tell them, I'm sorry. There's nothing we can do for you. Have a blessed day and good luck in your race.
You're
and
fired. Well,
that's it. And you're fired. And just like Trump would tell him, you're fired.
Just like Trump. That was one of the things that I was attracted to in the beginning when we first started talking to each other. Was we were just talking about. Gator and I have had a number of phone conversations actually. A lot of messages. But
yes, I've known you a long time, Bruce.
We've known each other for a while now. But guys come to Washington. A lot of times they have the best intentions. A lot of times they don't, though. A lot of times they have the best intentions. They come to Washington and then they get, defiled, as I say it.
Yeah, exactly.
But you at least in the beginning want to make sure that we're putting up America First candidates because we have a lot. We have a lot of people. And guys, I've been here in Washington, and that's what I was just telling Gator. I said, man, you look around and people just don't care. They don't care. It doesn't matter who wins. If Kamala wins or Trump wins, the gravy train for them is going to keep going. It's going to keep going.
Yeah.
Their life is not going to change. But for the average person, we're looking around going, my gosh, eggs are double. Steak is double. My kid's school is double. Like everything's double at least. And that's not the taxes. Everybody going to be ready for this, especially if Trump doesn't get in. Taxes are going to go way up. There's no choice in the matter. The U.S. national debt is going up, and the amount of taxes every year is the same amount to service that national debt. Same amount every year.
Exactly. That's why when we interview these candidates, and like I said, we vet each and every one of them. If they do not want to do a video conference call with us, and when I say us, we are a 527 nonprofit. I mean, we're the real deal. We're not just some little fly-by-night organization group on X. We are the real deal. If they do not want to talk to us, or they don't have the time to talk to us, then they're not going to have the time to talk to their constituents. They're not going to have the time to listen to the people of the United States. That's how we feel about it. Then, like I said, we'll just tell them have a blessed day. But if they'll sit down and talk to us, we'll tell them, talk to us like we are people. Talk to us like we would talk to you, because we want grassroots people in office that understand where we're coming from, and we don't want them to forget where they came from. Because one of the things, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Bruce, but one of the things, and actually my vice president, like I said, sick of the lies, he was unable to make it here this evening. But that is one of the questions he asks each and every one of them is we know that the politicians that are up there now are compromised. We know that. Now, how can you assure us that you will not be compromised? What can you tell me that's going to assure me that if I endorse you, or if I trust you, that you're not going to be compromised the moment you get there? What can you tell me?
It's so important to know. Like, we don't know. You look around, like, let's say
Exactly.
the state next to me here in Virginia, right? There's actually seats that nobody's even running for it. And then the people that are running for the different seats, we don't know if they're America First. We don't know if they're we have no idea. And so what you're doing is so important. It's so important. Hey, look, these are America First candidates. We need to support them as a group, as a national level, as a MAGA community, as a Make America Great community. We need to support these guys because they're the ones, they've been vetted as much as we can vet them, right? They've been vetted that they are America First. They're going to stay America First.
Right. And we try to educate people. We hold a Thursday night space on X. And we've been doing it for over a year now. And it's every Thursday night at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. And we go over the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, all the amendments, the founding documents, Federalist Papers, the Anti-Federalist Papers, John Locke, papers and essays and news articles from back in those days that had an effect on how our country was founded. Yeah. Papers and documents that people never even heard of, or if they had heard of it or taught it in school and forgot it. So we try to educate people on these Thursday spaces and let them know this is how it was intended. You forgot this. So you need to remember this. Yeah. So when you go to the polls to vote, you know what you're voting for. You know this is what the founding fathers had intended. This is how the country was designed. We are still a republic. We're not a democracy.
We're not a democracy. It makes my skin crawl. So it's Outlaw Gator, and you have a space what is it?
Every Thursday night. At 8:30 at 8:30 Eastern our time.
3 p.m. EST. I'm just going to put that on the bottom of our screen here for a minute so that people can see.
Yep. And we hold it under the company handle it's actually at Patriots Unite at Patriots Unite TM. That's the company handle, and that's what it's held under every Thursday night.
Yeah. All right.
At 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So make sure you guys enjoy that because it's so important. People don't even.
No,
and
TM, Bruce. TM, not TV. TM.
Oh yeah, we're on TV. Give me a break.
Yeah, you're famous now. That's why I come to you. You're famous. You're going to make me famous.
We're working on it. We're working on it. Well, I think what you're doing is so important, and that's why when you said, "Hey, Bruce, let's talk. Let's get together." And I said, "Okay, who are we going to interview?" No, I want to talk about what I'm doing. So let's talk about that for a minute as well. I mean, it's one thing to educate the masses. It's one thing to educate people that we are a republic. We're not a democracy. The difference is that you do that every Thursday. But what do you do for the candidate? Let's talk about what the candidate can expect from Patriots United.
Okay, well, I'd like to start out with actually how we locate the candidate, and that'll be real quick. What Patriots United does is we've actually taken the country and divided it into 10 regions, and our members are assigned to the regions by their residents, by where they're located, because we're nationwide. Okay, we're not a fly-by-night. We're nationwide, and so they reach out to the candidates in their region, and we contact them. And if they contact us back, then we start talking with them, and we say, okay, this is what we can do for you. We have access to a phone banking and a phone calling company that we've done work with in the past. I'm sure they won't mind me giving them a shameless plug. We work with Easy Politics, but we do volunteer with whatever the candidate has. Because some of our candidates have their own war chest full of money, and they've had their own campaign team, and we just provide volunteers. If they come to us and they say, "Hey, Gator, I work with this company. I just need some volunteers to make phone calls." I get into our space, and I'll say, I get into the network of chat rooms that I have built, and I say, "Hey, I need some volunteers for this candidate's campaign. Let me know who can do it." And I get that list, and I shoot it over to the candidate. So here's your list of volunteers to make phone calls for you. So we do phone calling. We do phone banking for it. We'll do text messaging for it. We provide volunteer work in that manner. We have an art department that will create flyers, AI work. We'll do campaign work and flyers and flood the whatever social platform you want us to, or we'll flood them all with whatever campaign flyer you have made up, or we'll make up our own. We always run that artwork through the campaign and get the candidates okay first.
Yep.
Very, very early on in our infancy, we learned the hard way that we must do that. It's kind of the law. So we learned the hard way that we have to clear anything through the candidate first. The FEC kind of frowns upon that. So it was no big deal. We got that covered, taken care of, and so candidate okays it, and we send out. So we have many members that have very, very large accounts and large followings. We provide podcast interviews with very popular podcasters, and some of them are even pretty, like Bruce Porter. He does a lot of podcasting for us, and he's one pretty something, I swear. And he does a lot of good work for us, and we're very happy to be working with him on that.
It is a pleasure.
And I do thank you, sir, for everything you do for us. Thank you. So we do. That's what we do. Is we offer whatever we do. We have an excellent webmaster. If they need it, we offer it, and he will build them websites or rebuild their websites for them if they have the cookie cutter. Yeah, I'm fixing to say it. The GoDaddy bullshit that you only fit in the template thing. No, our guy, he's very good. He's also very secretive, I shall say. So I will keep his business, but he has intimate knowledge of. He's also a retired disabled veteran like myself, so he has time to do this stuff. But he has knowledge of the industry out in California for about 35 years, so we can provide short clip commercial type, the 15-second 30 seconds that can be put out. We can provide them back to them for, they can put it on their TV, local TVs if they need, or if they wish. We can put it on, also out on to the social media. He can also build websites. So he can build them a website. We have our own secure server that is our server. So it's got, as he likes to put it, it's more secure than NASA. So if you want to get in it,
Hillary Clinton's server.
Yeah, exactly. Like Hillary can't get into our shit. Yeah, that's it. That's my thing.
Well, I gotta tell you, the track record is impressive as well. For the interview now, which this is at night, our time. You're watching in the morning, but we got there with our time difference. But the conversation we just had, I said, well, how many of those guys that I interviewed did made it into the primary? And yeah, and I mean there were four.
Quite a few.
There were 4 or 5 right off your head, right off the top of your head.
Right off the top of my head, I was able to name at least a handful of them, and you were able to. And listen, I like to think a lot of that was due to them coming on your show, and a couple of them came on more than once.
Yes.
And I know right off the top of my head that they made it through to the November election. But I'd like to give a shout out to the little lady in Arizona, the councilwoman. Now she doesn't have to go to no general election. Now she went straight through. Miss Jeanette Garcia.
No crap from no Indians. I'll tell you that. Man,
that's it. Miss Jeanette Garcia is out there in Avondale, sitting in her seat, already elected and doing her job. She's already doing, and she was on here. So thank you, sir. You got her. She is elected. She's not waiting to be elected. She's doing her job. So yes, she was on here with you. So I think between the two of us, we got her elected, sir.
I agree. It's an amazing service. So that's why look, we need to push for it. I'll tell you what, we don't know what this election. I mean, I have my fingers crossed. I even pray about it. I have no idea really what to expect. I think that God help us. At least Trump gets in, and then we get some down ballot people. It could end up being a red wave like 2022 should have been,
right?
But we'll see. 2022 was a red wave. They just somehow made that wave like kind of go.
Yeah, there was there's a lot of that cheating going on. We know it. We know it. We got the receipts. It's just until we can get the judicial system wrangled back in and back where it's supposed to be and running like it's supposed to be. It can't do nothing with it.
So first step here is, of course, we get Trump in. Then hopefully we get Trump in. I think we're doing everything we can to get him in, and we get some other America First candidates. And then it's really, we need to just start focusing immediately on 2026 so that we can replace these people, because so many people are sitting there and everyone's like, well, you got to vote for him because you got to vote Republican down ballot. And you're looking at this person and this person's like, they hate us. Like they literally don't like us. Like they don't like us.
I will say this. Now we have already here at Patriots United, we have already started looking forward to 2026. We've got about 6 to 8 candidates on our future candidates roster that are in ready to go for 2026. One of our little bright shining stars, and we've already been down to shoot footage for some commercials for her, and she's going to be running for the Georgia Senate, and not state Senate, the U.S. Senate, and the big house, and that is going to be Miss Reagan Box. Reagan, like Ronald Reagan is how it's spelled. Reagan Box. It's spelled just like Box. She's a firecracker. I'm telling you, and I want you to interview her soon. I'm going to be sending you her information. You're going to love this young lady. Okay. Not only is she a firecracker, she's a cute little thing. She's a cowgirl. You're going to love her. I'm telling you, you're going to love her. She is down to earth as can be.
I love the state of Georgia. It is so. What happened in the state of Georgia?
I'm going to tell you what happened. I'm going to tell you what happened is they stole that state from us, and they keep voting like they are.
Everybody does.
If they keep voting like they are, I'm going to revoke their Southern card. I'm telling you.
They're going to lose their Southern card. I agree.
Exactly. I'm going to revoke it.
North Carolina. My dad was an Army brat. I'm an Army brat, but he was North Carolina.
But I'll have some information to you so you can set up an interview with her in the future. But yeah, we've already got some 2026 candidates.
Yep.
They're on our website already as well, patriotsunited.us. I keep saying that. So, yeah, I got it. Should have it down there in my name. But make sure y'all go visit it. Go visit it.
Yes.
patriotsunited.us. Yep. And that way you can see the candidates that we still have. And what we did is the ones that did not make it through, unfortunately, we kept them on there.
Yep.
And wished them well. We still kept in contact with them so we can see what their future plans are. They want to continue moving forward. We'll help them move forward with whatever they want to do next. Some of them are going on to 2026. So we'll pick them up. We'll keep on dust them off, and we'll go 2026 with them. So you may see them again, because we're not going to let them give up. Hey, just because you got knocked down once, come on. Here, I'll give you a hand up, not a hand out, and we'll keep on rolling.
That's how we do it. Well, thank you so much.
I'm not gonna let you quit. No man left behind.
We can't quit. We can't quit.
I'd
love to ask you even some more questions about yourself and everything else. But in this segment, we've run out to it. We're going to be going into the marketing and everything else. So we hand it off to Matt Dixon here. But really appreciate what you're doing. Patriots United, patriotsunited.us. Just give your last handles and website and everything else yourself, and then we'll close.
I'll do that. Yeah, it's Patriots United, and our website is patriotsunited.us. You can come see and visit and see all our candidates. Our X handle is Patriots United TM. We hold our Thursday spaces every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And that'll be it, sir.
Amazing. Well, Gator, always a pleasure, brother.
Yes, sir. And I will talk to you again, whether it's DM, text, phone. But I will talk to you again sometime real soon.
You got it, bro. Cheers.
All right, man.
Hello, Matt. How are you? I'm gonna hand it off to you here. I am on dad duty this morning.
Okay.
Let me remove this here. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, feeling a bit better. Just getting used to the new weather out here. Still very, very hot, over 40 degrees. But yeah, all good. Thank you. Had an interesting day on the markets yesterday.
We sure did. I had fun.
Yeah.
I hope you did too.
Yeah, I'll just jump into. Had a really good day. It went pretty well as expected, but I'll share my screen. There's a couple of little surprises we had. So just jump in and share the screen there.
Amazing.
So hopefully you can see, first of all, actually, I'm going to jump, first of all, to the S&P 500.
Yeah.
So,
I'll tell you, that was a wild ride yesterday.
It was a wild ride. So you can see it here on this particular red candle down. So the news came out, and obviously inflation came out lower than expected, 2.5%. They're expecting 2.6%. So you'd think that'd be great for the markets, but it always goes the opposite way as logic would dictate. So obviously it was positive news, but effectively it was sell the news here. So we had buy the rumor pushing the price up, then we had sell the news when the news came out, and it sold off really sharply. But there's no logic, there's no real logic behind it, because it was good news for the markets, but the market sold off very sharply, very quickly. But that was clearly the market makers and the big institutions, the people in charge of the big money, spiking the price down, basically taking out all of the long positions that were in there, as many as they could, before the price then rallied to the upside. So that was very clearly quite a quick move to the downside. It didn't hold long. It didn't drop below the previous low at all, which is quite important. So we had effectively, I think, a wave 1 up and a wave 2 down. Now we're pushing up on wave 3. We're probably already more than 1.618. I'll just double check that now. Just measure what I think is wave 1 there. And then just transpose that over to, yeah, so we're almost exactly 1.618. So this would be quite nice if we then got a little bit of a pullback now and then a further push to the upside. That would give us a nice 5-wave impulse to the upside. So we've already had, if we just scroll out a little bit on the daily, and this is again the S&P 500 just to show us where we're at, it's gone really according to plan. So we did have this bullish divergence, this basically hidden bullish divergence here, telling us that price was going to push higher, and that's precisely what it did. And it pushed up in apparently a clear 5 waves, and then we got a nice 3-wave move down before pushing up again. And you see the green candles, no overlap on the way up here. Unlike this here, where we've got a nice clear overlapped ABC down, this is very clearly pushing up quite nicely now as at worst, it's an A, a B, and a C. But either way, we're expecting new highs, new all-time highs for the S&P 500. I can't see it being ABC. I think it's actually a 1, 2, and I think we're going to get a 3rd wave higher. So markets, I think, are looking quite positive following that news yesterday. But of course, we're waiting for the big news. 6 days' time now, next Wednesday, the FOMC rate decision. So yesterday, we clearly got news that we were hoping for in terms of that virtually secured a rate cut next Wednesday. Now, I think it's now virtually 100% priced in that there's going to be a rate cut. The question now is it 25 basis points or 50 basis points? Now, I would assert that it's going to be 25 basis points. If they were to say 50, it shows they're panicking. The other thing is, don't forget, we're still 25% above the target rate for inflation. When I say 25% above, the target rate is 2%. The current rate reported 2.5%. So 0.5% basically out of the 2% target. We're 25% above target. In fact, we're 25% above target. So the fact that we're so far above target, I don't think it gives the Fed room to really do a drastic cut like 50 basis points. I'll be extremely surprised, and that will convey a panic to the market, which I don't think anybody wants.
Exactly.
I think we're all looking for a nice smooth market ahead of the election and into
That's
October.
what they call a soft landing or something, right?
Yeah, they're aiming for a soft landing, and so far it's looking pretty good. But there's a lot of problems bubbling behind the scenes, of course. I mean, the fact is they still have inflation way above target. And normally when you have inflation above target, normally you've got excessive growth. And when you have high interest rates, it actually slows the inflation rate. But you can afford to slow growth a bit because growth is so robust. At the moment, growth is okay, but it's probably not robust enough to handle high interest rates. And yet we still need relatively high rates to control inflation. So the Fed are still struggling. To get a soft landing is going to be pretty amazing if they do manage to achieve that. I don't think they will personally. And we can see, I'll just flip over to the oil price. We can see that oil price has, in the slightly bigger picture, and we're on the daily here, so it's a fairly big picture. We can see that oil has been, down quite sharply. The fact that we got lower interest rates virtually confirmed coming in next week probably gave a little bit of a boost to growth. That they're lowering rates. That's probably good for growth. It's good for risk assets. It's good for growth. And so maybe good for oil consumption. And so oil prices ticked up a little bit yesterday. But I still think overall, we can still see at the moment, these are effectively lower lows and lower highs. So we're still effectively some kind of downtrend on oil. And if we scroll that even further, I think we'll see even more of that. Yeah, we can see that very clearly. We can see here pretty much, very much really on a downtrend for oil. So I think whilst the trend is still down for oil, as I say, we got a little tick up because I think growth took a bit of a boost yesterday, growth expectations, because they're almost certainty now they're going to lower rates. but that means that oil ticked up slightly, but it's going to go lower because as we get lower interest rates, well, it's not so much as we get lower interest rates, but probably more as growth slows a little bit more. And we've seen that. We've seen the first signs of it in the employment figures. So that's the other figures that we need to watch. So the Fed's mandate is to maintain stable inflation, to maintain stable employment, and then a hidden mandate is effectively to maintain stability in the markets. So at the moment, they're managing all of those things reasonably well, but we're starting to see the first chinks in the armor with employment beginning to fade a little bit, unemployment ticking up. And remember, I showed you that that particular rule, the SARM rule, showing that when it goes above 0.5%, that's a sign of recession coming. So that is still there. That signal is still there. It's been very, very predictive every single time for the past 65 years. It's accurately predicted when a recession's coming. Right now, it's predicting a recession coming. So I think, well, it's interesting, actually. They're still talking now about 3 interest rate cuts this year. That means every meeting this year. So they've got a meeting, obviously, next week. That's mid-September. They've got one October. September. They've got one then, end of October, and then beginning December. So, you know, they're basically 6 weeks apart, whatever that works out as. So in the final 3 meetings, they're expecting a cut each time, and most likely it'll be 25 basis points. But if growth falls off a cliff, then we could even see 50 basis points at some point. But that would be seen as the market, as the Fed panicking, trying to stimulate growth drastically. And I think inflation will continue to fall because remember, we've been saying a long, long time, the inflation has been not homegrown. It's actually it's been internationally delivered through the war, through the spike in oil prices that we had and the spike in food prices that we had due to the war, particularly in Ukraine, Russia. That spiked all these prices. That drove inflation effectively, I would call it artificially high. It wasn't due to excessive growth or anything like that. And that's why the Fed have got such a problem now in trying to deal with it. So that's basically the fundamentals behind it. Interestingly, it's not just the S&P. The Dow and the Nasdaq took a bit of a dive yesterday when the news first came out, but then they've rallied since. And the S&P 500 again is looking really nice now, pushing again towards those new all-time highs. Just focus on that once more. A little bit, as I say, all the divergences were beautiful. So we got a regular bearish divergence telling us exactly when to sell. We got a regular bullish divergence telling us exactly when to close if we had a short position or exactly when to buy the market. And also, you place your stop loss just below this support line here, just below the low price here, and it's not been triggered even with the sell-off last night. That stop loss would not have been triggered. So now price has rallied, you'd be in the money again. So that's really nice trade there based on solid risk reward analysis, setting your risk reward and trading accordingly with sensible stop losses in place, and you'd be right in the money at the moment. So that's fantastic. Gold price again, just fading very, very slightly, but that was expected again from, we've got some kind of parallel channel working here, it seems at the moment. We may get a bit more of a sell-off in gold, but we're still going to head, I believe, in the near future to multiple new all-time highs. This is just one fractal, one scale that we're looking at. But if you look at the larger scale and larger again scale, it looks as though gold is going to make multiple new all-time highs. And this is just a corrective move. We can see it sideways. We can see it's overlapping. It tells us that even if we were to push lower, maybe even down here, we're going to push higher again to new all-time highs for gold, I think. Bitcoin got a nice bit of a push yesterday. Again, a bit of a sell-off immediately on the news. Gave us a perfect wave 4. The wave 4 did not overlap the wave 1 here. So the wave 3 was above 1.618 times wave 1. All the rules were fulfilled there for Bitcoin. And once again, we had some beautiful divergences. I think they were looking on the daily, those divergences. Yeah, you can see them here. And again, looking on the daily, we can see the long-term picture. Basically, a wave 3 higher, an AB, some kind of corrective move. Now, it could be a triangle. I've got it labeled here as a triangle, A, B, C, D, E triangle, with E overshooting the trend line here, which is allowed. E wave being the only wave allowed to overshoot the trend lines, and that's what happened with the spike down here. but it could still be an even more complex correction. So I'm not completely ruling out a further push down, but either way, I still firmly believe this is a corrective move. Whether we finished it or not, it's corrective. So I do expect Bitcoin to push above here, above this consolidation pattern here, to new all-time highs above this 73,007 for Bitcoin. And I expect that this year. That's what I believe. I believe it's going to happen this year. So I think it's a good, personally a safe bet. But bear in mind, you've got to take into account every possibility and then look at the probability of that possibility. So there is actually a possibility that we get one final dip lower on Bitcoin that could dip nastily lower to take out all the potential longs. As so often happens, these market makers, if they see people long the market now, they could spike it lower one more time before it pushes higher. So make sure you're not over leveraged, make sure you're not over positioned, and make sure you're not investing money that you need tomorrow. But I think if you fulfill all of those rules, then I think a long position in Bitcoin should bear fruit and give you some decent returns. And exactly the same really for Ethereum. It seems to be a corrective move down. Ethereum has been a strange one. Not really what we expected. I think everybody thought Ethereum was going to be stronger than it has been. It's had quite a big sell-off. And when you compare it with the likes of Solana, for example, Solana in this bull run came from $8 to, well, it peaked at $209. On this particular bull run, previous bull run, it was higher than that. But this bull run, from $8 to $209. So massive run up in Solana. We didn't see the same in Ethereum at all. And Ethereum has been really subdued. And it's quite surprising, bearing in mind we had the Ethereum ETF, which sadly has not been as successful as the Bitcoin ETF. So Ethereum, we actually saw a lot of outflows from the Ethereum ETF. Not really the same for Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been in and out, but overall, generally, very positive for Bitcoin, not so positive for Ethereum. And Ethereum is, in a lot of people's eyes, is becoming a kind of one of the old chains. A lot of the new, more efficient, faster, quicker, cheaper chains coming along now that can replace Ethereum. And that's maybe why Ethereum's not taken off as much as others. We've looked at gold. Just look at some of the other ones that we've focused on recently. Toncoin, again, we said it was going to push higher. It's pushed beautifully higher. Again, we got a bit of a push down yesterday, but again, it's already started to move up to the upside. So I do think Toncoin's got a good future ahead of it. Got amazing community, as Bruce is always saying. Got massive, massive community. And again, it's quite clearly a corrective move down here, I think. This cannot be any kind of wave. Can't be wave 1, 2, 3, 4, because the wave 4 overlaps this wave down massively. And I can't even see this as a wave 1 because, again, overlapping move down. So this is a corrective move to the downside. So we need to have a move to the upside to take us to new all-time highs, in my view, for Toncoin. Sorry, I've got this silly Siri giving me problems again. So anyway, in general, market's looking reasonably positive today. We can see reasonable green across the board. Yeah, pretty much green across the board. I will just look at Solana briefly. It's, again, like the rest. We've got an impulsive move to the upside, corrective sideways move. Again, we could potentially dip a little bit lower, possibly. But now or near future, I'm expecting new all-time highs. Well, not all-time highs, sorry, new highs at least above this local high of $209. So that's really positive, massive move. It's 50% move basically from where we are now, more than 50% move from where we are now. So that I see as 50% upside. So if you took a position, obviously you've got to expect there could potentially be another push down. But if you hold long enough, you're not leveraged, not paying carry charges and so on, then potentially you can get 50% on your money with no leverage at all. So, and don't forget, you can even stake Solana, by the way. You can still get about 7% on staking. So you can actually buy the token, you can stake it, get 7% per annum return on it. So better than any deposits you'll get on any fiat, any fixed interest account. And then on top of that, you got what is likely to be 50% appreciation, and most likely in the next few months. So Solana's got great potential.
Yeah. There's a lot of money behind that. A lot of money behind this Solana.
Absolutely. I mean, there's been a bit of one of the things that's pumped Solana is, for example, pump.fun is that platform that had all the meme coins on it. That's quieting down a little bit at the moment. That could still pick up again, but meme coins, often they're a bit of a craze and they go through these cycles. So I'm sure there'll be other things that will pick up and use the Solana chain. Solana chain, because also bear in mind they've got this Fire Dancer upgrade coming up soon. That will set them apart again a little bit more than the rest of the chains. As I say, it's going to be even faster, even more efficient, more secure, etc., etc. So lots of positive things coming through for Solana, and it's just a matter of the adoption. If they can continue to maintain the rapid rate of adoption they've had, which I'm sure they can. So that's pretty much a wrap for today. We could obviously look at lots of other tokens. They're all looking nicely green today, but I think the big move is going to come most likely next week, Wednesday, when we get that interest rate cut.
Yeah.
So ahead of that time, we will look at other data points that will swing things back into in the meantime. But I'm hoping that we actually set a solid foundation yesterday with those good CPI figures, slightly better than expected CPI figures, and they set the scene really for a 25 basis point interest rate cut come next Wednesday, which should be really good, all these risk assets. So I think we can be optimistic for the near-time future at least. Hope that's helpful, and look forward to giving you a full update tomorrow.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Matt. It's always a pleasure. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, a bit better. Sorry, I don't know whether I did. I just touched finally briefly on DXY, the dollar index.
Yeah.
So again, we had this long-term support. When we hit support, we bounced off it, and we retested it again. It bounced off it. I think the next time that will have weakened the support. I think next time, and that'll probably be next Wednesday, I think we're going to plummet through support for dollar index. So the dollar will weaken on lower interest rates. Obviously, there's going to be less attraction to invest money into US dollars because there'll be less returns on US dollars. And so a lot of money will flow out of US dollar at that time, and that should plummet DXY. And I think that will actually help the risk assets. So that was the final little piece of the jigsaw I wanted to put in before I leave you today. So thanks, Bruce. Thanks, Impact Money viewers. Pleasure to be with you.
Thank you, Matt. Cheers. Well, it has been a wild ride in the markets, but it's also been a wild ride in the U.S. political situation. I'll tell you what, from the debate to Joe Biden putting on a Trump 2024 hat yesterday, I mean, that was really just something else. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of that. I mean, just like this whole cycle has everybody just kind of scratching their head. So here's Trump. He didn't know what to make of it either. This is him on his plane. It looks like Trump Force One, they call it. Kind of a play on Air Force One, right? Here he is. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, what do you have to say about that? Now, of course, they've started a couple of different coins even on it here. Trump 2024 already out there. Let's see. We can look at the deck screener on this, see how it's doing. Just a moment. You know, these meme coins are pretty funny. Oh yeah, they're pretty good. I aped in quite a bit lower here, somewhere down in here, so I'm still pretty happy at the moment. You never know with these things. Oop, share this one instead. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, you never know with these things. Okay. I mean, this is gambling pretty much on these meme tokens. But what are you gonna do? So anyway, but that's pretty funny. You know, And then, of course, you had Trump. He saw Kamala at the 9/11 memorial yesterday. And I'll tell you what, 9/11, I'll tell you what, I have never seen so many people start to realize what really happened. What really happened. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going. Now I'm taking a better look at my tab here. Oh, yeah. I am doing very well here. All right. You really have to be careful on these new ones, okay? Because sometimes they'll have there's scammers out there, big time scammers, and they'll remove the liquidity, they'll let it build up, and then they'll just remove all the liquidity, or they'll put some ridiculous sales tax in. I mean, you'll lose more than you gain if you just throw some money at every new one that comes out there. So that's not a good strategy. But if you know some people, then you can do pretty well. I mean, you see this. This was, I'm pretty happy at the moment. 62,000% up. I'll have to look later, but I'm certain I got in well below that. I think a lot lower than that. Anyway, so that makes me happy. Anyway, so the thing about, we have more and more people, and it's because of X, really, that we're able to talk about all the things that don't make sense. We're able to talk about Larry Silverstein's old interview with him saying, "Yeah, we just decided to pull it on talking about building 7. Like, pull what? Like, what are you talking about? We just decided we were going to pull it." I mean, maybe it's worth me playing that. I don't know. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now. But I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people there's more people, and it is because of X. So I hope that we can keep free speech going here. I hope we can keep X. God bless Elon Musk. Hopefully he can stay alive, and hopefully we can get Trump in. I don't think, it's like we talked about in the interview there with Gator. There's still going to be a lot of work to do. Even if we get Trump in, there's going to be a lot of work to do. And nobody right now should be sitting on their butts. Take profits. It could be a crush in an instant. That's how it works, right? Always good to take profits. It's never bad, really. Well, it can be. It just, taking profits is a good idea for sure. It's always a good idea to take some profits. I do expect, even if we have some chop here, I do expect us to go forward. So if you're okay with some chop, I think you're going to be okay. The interest rates are going to come down. Pretty much that's like nailed in. That means that the dollar is going to go down along with it, the value of the dollar, and that is going to push risk assets up. DXY is, of course, the basket of currencies that trades against, or a basket of other currency, mostly currencies that they trade the US dollar against, the DXY. It's one of the markets, the market, I guess, the big market that they trade against. And you can trade the other currencies against them as well, but it's going to go down because the US dollar's value is going to go down because the interest rates, when they come down, there's going to be more dollars in circulation. That's what I always talk about. They're diluting you. And that's they're stealing your money. It's another tax. It's like actually the biggest tax that you have. You think your taxes are bad at the end of the year, or actually you probably pay them like most people, and you pay them every week or whatever, every other week or every month. If you had to pay them by quarter or by the end of the year, even it's illegal, or you're supposed to, I have to pay a penalty if I don't pay them quarterly. And they do that as well, so that you don't have to pay that big chunk at the end of the year. Because if you have to pay the big chunk at the end of the year, then you really get upset and you really become like me and the Fed. This is crazy. So they make you take it out of your paycheck every other week or every week or whatever, so you don't realize how much money it is that you're paying for these people that don't work for you. You're giving it away. You know, we're paying for the entire government and their retirement pensions in the Ukraine, the entire government. Like, who approved that? We're paying for everything. We're probably doing the same thing for Israel. I mean, we know that we give them the $3 billion a year plus. Why are we paying for all these people? What about us? Craziness. Anyway, I am on dad duty this morning. As you saw, a little bit of this. I got to get the audio and stuff fixed. I apologize for that at the beginning of the show as well. I will work on that today to get that fixed. I don't know what happened. My computer updated itself, and now my audio when I play videos stinks, and that's upsetting. So I'll probably maybe I'll play Gator's interview a bit later again. But that's it for me. I'm gonna pop out of here and oopsie. Join my daughter on the ice. Cheers.
Your voice is powerful. When combined with social engagement, it's a force for change. Decentralized media paired with free speech is the catalyst for an empowered world and a unified, invaluable ecosystem. Join Global Boost, become a champion of free speech, and help to reshape the future of media.